চিকেন ভাজা।
আচ্ছা।
Welcome. This is day one of class. Just a second. Yeah. This is day one of class. And yeah, welcome to Bash Scripting 101. Alright. So before we get started, just a quick intro. Yeah, all the volunteers, can you just raise your hands? All Hyderabadis. Right. So hello folks, all of us who raised our hands, we are all part of Team Hyderabad. So yeah, we are one of the largest open source communities in Hyderabad. We have more than 1,000 members on our Discord server. We're pretty beginner friendly. Beginners are always welcome in our community. We promote open source. We encourage public learning, and we also really love some memes. You're going to find some memes today and tomorrow also. We're a fun bunch. We're not all work and no play. I would say we're about 60 work, 40 play. So yeah, that's who we are. And so before we get into today's session, I also want to say that we have done some amazing in the past. Like we've conducted a competition called Code Day. Cool people too. Yeah, cool. How many of you came to Bucks? Yeah, see, you can spot Moise right there. So yeah, how many of you here are first year students? Ooh, lot of first year students. Amazing. So we hope that you have a really good time today and you also get to know something about us. So yeah, that's who we are. So yeah, the important thing today is we learn something while having fun. Okay, let's not just commit ourselves to only having to learn something. Let's have fun. Let's crack jokes. If any one of you want to make a joke or something like that, feel free to drop meme references. We love those. So yeah, a quick few questions before we start. How many of you here have used Linux before? Any Linux system, doesn't matter. We have two, okay. Oh, cool. We have some people there. Let me ask you another question. Who here owns MacBooks or iMacs? Apple phones? Apple users? I'm an Apple user. Okay, nice. So, okay, not many of you have used Linux before. That's completely fine. So, if you haven't used it, do you at least know something about it? Yeah, what do you know? I heard a few yeses. What do you know about Linux? It's really okay to speak up. I'm not like a professor in your class. I'm not going to scold you for wrong answers. Also, I believe that there are no wrong answers, only ones that are just off. So yeah, do you know anything about Linux? Anything? Okay, yeah, I heard someone say operating system. Anything else? Sorry? Commands. What else? The penguin. Love that. Okay, so I'm assuming you also haven't used Linux. You don't know much about it. Am I correct in assuming that? Okay, heard a lot of yeses. So you're telling me that you've never used Linux before, right? So do you think you've at least interacted with it in some form or another? How? The terminal, yes. What else? Okay. Android users, raise your hands. I'm an Android user. My Apple is only my laptop. Android users. Okay, cool. What if I tell you that Android is actually just a small part of the Linux family? You use Android phones, right? Yeah, you're basically using Linux. How many of you here use YouTube? Don't lie. Come on. Let's say you open WhatsApp. You open WhatsApp, right? Daily. That's our favorite pastime, na? So yeah, when you open WhatsApp, your application software has to talk to your phone's hardware. Now, we are humans. We write code in English. है ना? Now that software somehow has to talk to your hardware, which only understands zeros and ones. Now it needs a middleman to do that job, right? That middleman just so happens to be the Linux kernel. How many here own Windows laptops? Right? So underneath the Windows, just below that, it still runs the Linux kernel because it has to talk to the hardware. See, now you all feel like this. Linux is everywhere. Linux is omnipresent. You might think that you've never interacted with Linux, but you somehow do every day without your knowledge. It's fine. Yeah, it's all Linux. Let me tell you, my first reaction when I found this out was also the exact same thing. So yeah, Linux just somehow seems to be this omnipresent magical thing that talks with applications, that talks with hardware, right? So how many people think Linux is very hard to learn? Extremely hard. It's fine, you can be honest. There's one person there who thinks that learning Linux is hard. Okay, let me ask you this. How many of you use your terminal, your command line on a regular basis? Few people, yeah, even I use my terminal on a regular basis. Have you ever at least tried using your terminal? Yeah, I heard a few cases. Did you think that it was hard? Someone here used it to get Wi-Fi passwords. You hacker. So yeah, yeah, okay. So the terminal might seem a little bit intimidating to people because you might look like, one of those stereotypical hackers from 80s English movies. You're hunched down, you're typing, you have a hood on, RGB lights in the room, mechanical keyboard pay, you're typing all of that into the command line. it sure the command line has a little bit of a steep learning curve, but once you get across the little book, you'll actually have really fun using it. So yeah, I'm sorry that I've been very rude. I haven't introduced myself. So it's fine. I'll introduce myself now. Yeah, I'm Uma. Some anything? No, doesn't match. Okay, fine. So yeah, my name is Uma, and I'm also one of the leads at Hyderabad. I also helped out a little bit. I don't know. They can tell you if I helped out or not. But yeah, I helped out a little bit during the part where we really worked hard to organize 4-day Hyderabad. Oh, thank you. By the way, Srinivas also won an award for that. You're forgetting something. Srinivas also won an award for that. Yay! So yeah, I like coding in Python because who doesn't, right? And it is easy. And I'm also very fascinated by Linux. Okay, I'll tell you why. I'm one of those few, unfortunate people who own a MacBook, who owns a MacBook in India. Whatever they teach in the college doesn't work on my laptop because they're all Windows software. है ना? So now I have to go onto the internet. I have to be like, what is the MacBook equivalent of so and so app? Because it doesn't work on mine. That's exactly why I got fascinated with Linux. Okay, have you all booted your systems to Ubuntu? Or are you one of those very fancy people who call it Ubuntu? No fancy people? Okay. So, nice, Ubuntu. Yeah, there was like, I was watching CS50 course. Most of the people call it Ubuntu. So yeah, I like the buns. Ubuntu is nice. I like buns. Okay. So yeah, just go ahead and open up the terminal in your systems. You know what? I'll do it with you. This is what my terminal looks like. Yours is going to look a little bit different. Let me just do that. Yeah. Okay. Let me just change my system settings. Now, who thinks this is cool? Hey, thank you. That all and that doesn't come in MacBook. So yeah, is this kind of how the terminal on your system looks like? Yeah. Okay. Now go ahead and do this with me. Along with just type in ECHO echo. Okay. Space $sign all caps SHELL. Does it also say bin bash? Also, people in the back, can you see the terminal? Yeah, it's visible. Okay, great, amazing. Who here executed the command? Yeah, does your computer also say bin bash? Okay, now. Alright, so now you might be wondering what is it that we've done? What is this weird looking command that we've typed into our computer? What does the first one say right there after the $sign? It says echo, right? So yeah, echo is basically saying, it's basically telling the computer key, after echo, I'll type something. I want you to tell it back to me. Simple, very simple. So when you're saying echo, you all know C, right? All first years C, you know it? Who here understands Telugu? Any difficulty in understanding Telugu? No, right? తీయొచ్చు కదా, నేర్చుకున్నారు కదా సి. So yeah, if you, it's kind of like telling, in C you type printf, right? Yeah, echo is kind of like typing printf, but in Linux language. So yeah, you see that dollar sign shell, right? Who here knows what a shell is? Shell. No? Okay. So I told you about the Linux kernel, right? Yeah. Who here knows about oysters? Oysters. You know the little animals that produce pearls that we women love to wear. So yeah, you know how around that pearl there's a very hard exterior of the oyster. Have you seen an oyster? Yeah, there's that very hard exterior, right? Yeah, this shell that you see here, bin dash. Oops. Sorry, my Mac went to sleep. Yeah. Right. It will come back, but in the meantime, I'll tell you. Yeah, shell. Shell is that outer exterior which is protecting your Linux kernel. Okay. So yeah, shell is that little thing which is protecting your Linux kernel. By the way, okay. All Linux, all people who just opened Ubuntu. Just a second. Sorry for that. So yeah, if you are running Ubuntu on your computers, it will directly go to bin. It will directly go to bin bash. Okay. Mac users, you might have a little bit of a difficult time because Mac by default runs Z shell. Okay. There are lots of different Linux shells. What Mac by default uses Z shell. What Ubuntu uses by default is Bash. There's another one called Fish, by the way. Yeah. So who here knows? Who here knows what Bash stands for? Who here watches Hollywood movies? English movies, any kind. Do you know? Do you know about Jason Bourne, the FBI agent who lost his memory and then goes on incredible adventures around the world, killing people? No. Okay. Please don't hate me. I am not a psychopath. I just love action movies in Hollywood. So yeah. Um, so actually, BAT stands for Born Again Shell. It does not reference Jason Bourne. It actually references the engineer who came up with the Bash shell. So yeah, there was actually another shell just before Bash. It was just called shell. So yeah, the born again shell is just kind of a wordplay on born again shell. Okay. So now that I'm telling you Ubuntu, I'm telling you Mac OS, does anyone here know about different Linux distros? Anyone ever heard about it? Are Hakrabatis, don't raise your hands. Put down. Anyone in the audience, do you know about different Linux distros or distributions? Okay, who here knows about Red Hat? Have you ever heard about their? Yeah, they do a course, right, for Linux. Yeah, the Red Hat families is actually a family of distributions. They just use the Linux kernel. All the outer stuff is just different. Okay, they have Fedora. Have you heard of Fedora? Okay, so Fedora is a Linux distribution. Who here has seen one of those hacker movies? Any hacker movie, doesn't matter. Sorry? Sorry? Ah, Mr. Robot, nice. Okay. Matrix, uh-huh. So yeah, you see that they type into the terminal, something weird happens on their screen, numbers are falling. Yeah, if you want that effect, you can probably just download Kali Linux. Kali Linux is actually another distro of Linux itself. It's very frequently used by it's very frequently used by cybersecurity experts to test firewalls, to hack into people's computers. Maybe I don't know. One day even hack into the college's database and I don't know, add attendance. If anyone has that idea, please do it. Add it for me also. I am running low on attendance. Just don't do that. I don't think first year know that. There was an incident last year where someone hacked that director sir's email. Yeah, exams were cancelled for everyone. Karke. Just don't do that, okay? Just log into our college database, increase my attendance, increase your attendance also. So yeah, now that we've seen that our computer actually runs Bash, let's see some basic commands, okay? Who here knows at least a few of the basic commands in Linux? Okay, in the yellow, what do you know? CD, yes, great. What else? LS, MKDIR, very good. Can we have a swag pack for him, please? Yeah. What else? Clear, yes. CD space dot. Amazing. That's amazing. Seriously, superb. Can we have a round of applause for him? Yeah, he kind of listed all of the commands that I was going to teach you. So let's do it together, okay? Let me just change into my terminal. You can see this? Cool, okay. So, do you see that after Uma's MacBook Pro, my name is Uma, you remember that, right? Yeah, my computer is MacBook Pro. After that, you see a tilde, right? The wavy line. Yeah, that wavy line indicates that you're in the root directory. You're in the biggest directory in the entire computer. All the files that you create in your computer are stored under that big one, okay? This is basically great grandfather. Everything you create are descendants, okay? Very bad analogy, but kind of think of it like that. So yeah, he said LS, right? Who here knows what LS does? Yes, exactly. It lists everything. Oops, sorry. Small ones. There you go. See, those are all the folders that are in the root directory. Applications, desktop, downloads, library, movies. By the way, I don't have any movies installed on my computer. Music, I also don't have that. Pictures, zero. Public. So there's another variation of ls dash l. Who here knows what that command does? Any ideas? No. Not hidden files. It's actually a different command. Boom. You see all these R's, W, X's, and all those pluses and all. Yeah, it's basically telling you that these directories have either, so R stands for read permission, write permission, the W, X is the execute permission. So it's basically telling you that all those files that you have listed over there have these permissions. Okay? Remember this command because we're going to be using it a lot. Now, okay, let me clear my screen for you. By the way, if you want to clear your screen, just press Ctrl L. Or you can just type clear. Just type clear. It also does the same thing. Alright, let me just go. Yeah. Now, ls-a, what does this do? Who knows what this command does? Any guesses? Any guess? Let me just show it. Oops, sorry. I now have things that I did not see before. Those are applications desktop, we just saw that. But what are these? Any idea? What do you think they are? They're just hidden files. So when you open up your graphical user interface or your GUI, let me just open that up. Oops. See, these are the only files that you can see. Applications, downloads, movies, music, pictures in public. We got them with the ls command. But these hidden files, they're hidden for a reason, okay? And why they're hidden is because they have a dot. They have a period right in front of their names. So these means that these are hidden files. The user doesn't really have to, have access to these because, I mean, come on, we have, for trash, we just have the recycle bin. We don't need, the Python file because it's already running. We don't need all that git config, bash sessions. We have no real use for them. As very normal layman users, we don't really need them. So that's why the computer just thinks, acha, he or she doesn't need this. So let me just hide it. Okay. So now, how do you clear the screen? Control L. Yes. Let me go ahead and do exactly that. All right. So you just saw that when we did ls, let me just do that one more time. These are all the directories that we have. Okay, directory is just folder. Directory just means folder. In Windows, we're used to calling them folders, right? In Linux, we call them. What do we call them? Yes, exactly, directories. So what do you do if you want to change your directory? CD, exactly. Let me just change into my desktop. Also, by the way, this is another keyboard shortcut. Linux will actually do autocomplete for you. Just just press tab. Just press the tab key. Just type in either the first 2 or 3 letters of the directory that you want to change into, and then press tab. It will do the autocomplete for you. Anyone got that autocomplete? Yeah? Amazing. Cool. Let me just press that. See? Now, from the root directory, my computer tells me that I have changed into the desktop directory because there's no tilde anymore. It's the desktop, right? Now, what do I do if I want to see what's there on my desktop? ls. Oh, no one had lunch or what? What do I do? ls. Great. So yeah, these are all the folders that are there on my desktop. There's one app which is VS Code. Then there's a deep learning folder. There's my fees which I pay to the college. There's one called GHW Hacks and there's one called Java. Right now, I want to create a directory so that whatever programs that we write today, whatever scripts we write today, I'm going to store all of them in one single directory. So how do I make a directory? mkdir, amazing. So let me just go ahead and do mkdir. Feel free to do that on the computer that you're using too. So okay, audience question, what do you want to name this directory? Flash, you want to name it Flash? Wow, I love you all. Okay, Flash, Flash. Boom. Nothing happened. And let me tell you something. Nothing happening in the terminal is actually a good sign. It means that your computer is not angry with you. It's not yelling at you. Okay. So now that we did mkdir flash, let me just go ahead. Let me just close that. Do you see the flash folder right here? Yeah, it will be there on your desktop too. So basically what we're doing is, instead of using the GUI, the graphical user interface, we're just doing stuff from the command line. Okay? Don't be afraid. The command line is actually your friend. Don't be afraid to play with it, to know what it does. Okay? Now, I have no real use for this deep learning folder. Okay? How do I remove that folder? RMDIR, amazing, amazing. RMDIR. Now, what do I do if I want to autocomplete? Tab. You see, since there is no other folder that starts with a D on my desktop, I just pressed D and the terminal autocompleted it for me. Okay? Oops. Something happened. It's saying that deep learning directory is not empty. So do you have something that can help you deleting a folder that you have no real use for, but it's not empty? Anyone know? Okay. Let me tell you what I thought in the beginning. Okay, I was like, I'll go into the folder, I'll cd into that folder, I'll press ls-a, I'll delete all the hidden files. Do you think that approach is good? No, right? It takes too much time. So the people at Linux were very nice. They created another command for us called rm-r. Okay. So what this is telling the computer is, computer, I want you to recursively dive into that directory called deep learning and delete each and every one of the hidden files that is in there, come out and then delete the entire directory itself. Okay, let me go ahead and run that. Let's see what happens. Okay, terminal did not yell at me. Nice sign, good sign. Oops, there's no deep learning folder over here. There's only C, Flash, JHW and Java. Okay, so that's what rm-r does. By the way, please be very careful when you're using either rm or rmdir, because they are going to delete directories. In my system, at least, I've configured it to not ask me for permission every single time I do it, but your system might have that option. So please be very careful when you're exercising that right to delete a folder. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Right, sorry about that. Okay, now let's do. Okay, now that I'm in the desktop, back into the root folder. CD dot dot, amazing. So yes, CD dot dot does get you back into the folder, but my desktop folder happens to be right below the root folder, right? What if you're, I don't know, say 20 layers into the system, you're working in someone else's system, you don't know what to do, right? You're kind of lost in a command terminal. So how do you get back to the root directory instantly? Any ideas? You know what, let me show you that in action. Let me just cd into the Flash folder. Yeah, now I'm in Flash. Since this is also just the third layer in, it's fine. Let's say you're 20, 30 layers in, you can't just scroll back up, right? So how do you get back to the root folder? Any ideas? It's actually very simple. You just have to write cd. You are changing directories, but instead of dot dot or anything, just type tilde. So you know that tilde represents root folder, right? There you go. I'm back in the root folder. Did you try that? Did it work? Cool, amazing. Okay, let's now, unfortunately, cd back into Flash. Right. Now we are in the Flash folder. Okay. So what is the first program that everyone writes when they're learning a new language? Hello world, right? Let's do exactly that. I know I'm very lame, but this is the first one that I'm going to teach you, okay? Just go echo hello world. Everyone type that? Yay! You got the output? Congratulations! You just did the very first bash script. Oops. Yay, congrats. You have taken those initial baby steps that are required for you to write your very first script. Unfortunately, the meme is not loading because we have amazing internet in our college. Feel free to laugh at it. It's fine. We all make fun of it. All right? You did that? Cool. Now that we're here, we can only type one line at a time, right? We can either go echo hello world, enter, it says hello world, echo your name, you enter, it will tell you hello, whatever your name is. We need to write it in a file, right? So let's write our program in a file. So for that, I want you to type N-A-N-O, nano. just like the car. Okay, now tell me, what do you want to name our file? You're going to have to give a lot of file names today, so be wise in picking a file name. Again, Flash. Hey, we used it for our directory. Come on, pick something. Sorry? Bash. Okay, cool, amazing. Bash dot sh. Okay. Now what we're doing with this sh here? This dot sh is actually the extension. So it's telling your computer that now I want you to open a code editor. Okay. Not exactly a code editor, but a file in Nano. Okay. It's an editor. There's a lot of other editors you can get in Linux. There's div, there's vim, but we're going to be using Nano. Okay. This is what my Nano looks like. Did everyone open their Nano? Yeah. Do you have a lot of stuff in it with green color? No, it's empty. Cool, amazing. Okay. So I hope this meme loads. I really want this meme to load. Let's actually get to some actual scripting right now. Oh, damn. It was an amazing meme I wanted to share. Fine. Okay. I blame it on the college internet. So yeah, we're going to type hashtag and exclamation point. Does anyone know what this means? Or at least what it's called? Shebang. It's called shebang. I'm not kidding. Go on the internet, type this exact hashtag and exclamation point. It will tell you that it's called shebang. Okay. So yeah, shebang slash. Which shell are we in right now? There's something before bash. Bin bash. I want you to type ahead. Bin bash. Okay. Done with it? So now, what is this line exactly telling the computer? So, okay. Bin bash. Bash.sh. Yeah, if anyone hasn't followed, it's nano space bash.sh. Okay? Cool. Okay. Bin bash. So what this command is exactly telling the computer is, hey computer, I want you to run this script in the bash shell. Okay? So it's basically telling the computer, I want you to bash this script. Okay? Now bash doesn't exactly refer to beating someone up. But yeah, it's telling the computer, I want you to bash this script. Now, what was the command that we executed last time? Just before this, just before nano, what did we write? We did something with hello world, right? Echo, exactly. So go ahead and type echo hello world. All right, amazing. Done with it? Everyone? People at the back? I'm assuming that you've typed this out. Also, you don't have to type in hello world. You can type in whatever you want. It's just a beginner kind of program, okay? Now, look below. Do you see something called save? You see something called exit, right? But you can't exit without saving. What do? Unfortunately, Control S doesn't work here. Okay, don't worry, you just have to exit. Just do what the computer tells you to do, okay? Press Control X. Ooh, now you see it. Save modified buffer. Answering no will destroy changes. So yeah, the computer is basically asking you, yo, do you want me to save the script or not? You want to save it, right? Just write while. There you go. File name to write. You sure that you want to call this bash.sh only, right? Yeah. Go ahead and press enter. Boom. Done. Okay. Now, you want to run this file. Am I right or am I right? Thank you. So you do want to run this file, right? It's a very simple command that you have to do. Dot slash. Dot slash is just telling the computer that, whatever is there, sorry, here it's the dot, right? Fill out the entire path for yourself only. Users, at least in my system, it's users, Uma Datri Durvasla, which is my name, desktop, shell, and then it's our file name. What's our file name? Bash, right? No spaces, nothing, just type in bash.sh. Okay, can you try running it? Oops. Permission denied. Why do you think the permission is denied? Come on, I need you to give me little bit louder answers. I really can't hear anything. I'm so sorry, I'm deaf right now. Why do you think your permission is denied? Okay, let me tell you that by default, when you write scripts in Linux, it does not give you execute permissions. Do you know why at least? Okay, let's take an example. Let's take an example. Let's say you download a malicious file from the internet. Might have viruses. You don't want to run that file, right? So Linux is actually very, very security based. So it will be very apprehensive when it sees a new file. Yo, you sure this is not a virus? Like, are you okay with running this? It's exactly asking you that right now. It's asking you, HMOD space plus X. Okay. Now, do keep that on your, let me just show you why it doesn't. What is the command that you want to type if you want to see permissions for a file? ls dash L. Yes. See, it only has read and write permissions, no execute permissions. So we're going to do exactly that. So chmod plus X. Oops, sorry, my bad. Chmod plus X. This also use that autocomplete. Don't type in bash.sh. So what is this command telling our computer? chmod basically stands for change mode. Okay. So you're basically telling your computer, hey computer, it's a nice file. I only wrote it, you know. So yeah, I want you to give this file executable permission. Okay. And now the computer doesn't know which file you're asking it to give it. So you're also going to type in your file name. Okay. Now what is the, oh sorry, we have to execute this. Good, amazing. So what's the command that you want to type if you want to bash your script? We just did it. We got permission. Yes, yes. Exactly. Amazing. So yes, dot slash bash. Sorry, that's a lot of sounds. Yeah. Run it. Yeah. Yo, this file runs. So yes, congratulations to all of you for writing your first nano script ever. Yay! Give yourself a round of applause. So right now that we've written this, should we write another program? Amazing. Oh, also, by the way, your computer saves the history of all the commands that you've ever executed. So if you're just feeling lazy, be like Linux developers. Just use the up arrow. See, it's showing you all the commands that you executed. Now, is this the correct command if we want to edit our file? Yes, exactly. Don't be afraid of telling it. Boom, we're back. Okay. Now, let's say you're feeling a little bit daring. You don't want to write hello world. You're sick and tired of it. You want it to tell you want it to tell hello your name. Okay. Let me pick someone. The person in the cap right there. Hi. What's your name? Sorry? Manoj. Okay. Manoj, you're going to be the example for this program. Don't worry, it's nothing bad, okay? I'm just going to type hello Manoj. That's it. Hello Manoj. Okay. Now, hello Manoj is boring. Everyone just look at Manoj for a second. Yeah, can you use an adjective to describe him? Cool. Uh-huh. Right. Okay, let's go ahead and type that in. Let's just type echo. I'm going to put my mic down, but just let me know if you have any issues when you're doing this. Yeah, Manoj is cool. Um, okay, can someone also tell another adjective about Manoj? Another adjective. Come on, you also Manoj. I heard nice hat. Manoj has a nice cap. Oh, okay, let's do that. Let's type in exactly that. What do we type? Oh my god, I'm so Echo Manoj has a nice hat. Right. Now, how do we save this? Control X. Yes. What do we do? Y. Amazing. And enter. Great. Now, how do we run this? Dot slash. Also, just use that up arrow. Don't type in everything. Yay! We got the program. It says, hello Manoj. Manoj is cool and Manoj has a nice hat. Now, this program itself is a little bit redundant. Do you know why? Anyone? We're just typing in Manoj, Manoj, Manoj 3 times. We're humans, we're lazy people, we don't want to do that. You want to go ahead, let's say you're writing 1000 lines, you're just writing a book about Manoj. Do you want to type Manoj, 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 Manoj every single sentence? No, right? So, what do? What do? You use this in C, you use this in C++, you use these in Python. What are they called? Variables, exactly. We use variables. So let's go ahead and add a variable. Okay. Now let me just call this variable name because it is his name and equals Manoj. Okay. Right. Now let's just replace his name with a variable. So this is how you do it. Okay. When you're calling a variable, you do $sign. Okay. You do $sign and the variable name. Name. Simple, amazing. Let's go ahead and replace it everywhere. Oops, sorry. Right. This looks cool. Now we'll just use $sign name everywhere instead of typing in Manoj, Manoj, Manoj. Okay. Now I want you all to save this file, exit, and then run it. Okay. Go ahead and do that for me. Done with it? Done with it? Still doing it? Okay. Everyone done? Do you see that our program has changed in any way? It hasn't, right? It's still giving the same output. Hello Manoj, hello Manoj. Manoj is cool, right? So this is how you use variables, okay? And also remember, whenever you're calling a variable, use a dollar sign. Okay, if you don't use a dollar sign, your computer will be very angry at you. You don't want your computer to yell at you. It's not nice to be yelled at, dude. Come on. All right. So, by the way, do your parents scold you if you get less than 90%? Yeah, right. Typical Indian parents always do it. Let's see if our batch script can also act like our Indian parents only. Please do. Alright, now what do you want to name this file? We'll let a new file. What do you want to name this? I don't really hear anything. What do you want to name this file? Come on, be creative. Nice. Parent.sh. Let's go ahead and do exactly that. Parent.sh. I forgot to do something here. What is it? Nano. Good that you caught that. Let me go ahead and add nano. Right. Boom. Okay, now what is the first line that we type in our file? What is it slash? What is that hash and exclamation called? Shebang. Exactly. Go ahead and type that entire line. Shebang bin dash. Oh my god, I'm so afraid. So now it's just a little bit of a prompt. You're just asking the user to enter their marks. Very simple. Now you have to take the user input. How do you do that? Anyone know how to do that? Just take the user input. Okay, what is taking someone's user input called? Reading a variable. Am I right? Oh, come on. Am I right? Yeah. So that's exactly what you'll tell Linux to do. You'll tell it read a variable called marks. Okay. Now, okay, what is the threshold percentage? 90, 95, 99? Where below that, if you get it, you will be scolded by your parents. 90? We'll go with 90. Everyone okay with 90? Okay, cool, amazing. So let's type if. Okay. Now I need to call the marks variable. How do I do that? Dollar sign, yes. You use the dollar sign marks. If your marks are less than, this LT is just less than. See, Linux, whoever developed Linux, they were also very lazy, just like us. Instead of typing less than, we're just typing LT. Okay, less than 90. है ना? Then, quite literally also. Then, echo. How do your parents call you? What do they tell you if you get less than 90? Good one. Okay, let's just add very simple. Back is not that much of yelling at you. Also, it's just very simple. It's just says go study more. Okay, let's type in that. Okay, to seem angry, I added more exclamation points. Okay, so what you're basically telling is, if your marks, your computer at least, what you're telling your computer is, if your marks are less than 90, it will yell at you, go study more. Okay. Now, to close this if statement, just type in F5. Nothing, they just reversed if and they made it F5. Okay. So if your marks are less than 90, then it will echo go study more. F5. That's it. Pretty simple program, right? Do you want it to tell you anything else at the end? Any other remarks? No? This is fine? Cool. Okay, let's do that. Now, I want you all to exit Nano and also save your file while doing it. Done, exited, saved. Now, there's another problem. We can't run this file just like that. What do we do for that? Chmod, yeah, plus x, and then your file name, right? I want you all to go ahead and do that. Done? How do we run this? Dot slash parent dot sh. Amazing. Now, should we test this? Should we give it something less than 90? Let's give it something less than 90. Let's give it 89. Oops, there's something wrong. So sorry. Let me just go ahead and check what happened. $6 less than 90. 10. Weird. I'm not this program just to be sure. Yeah. చేసుకోలేకపోడు ఎట్టి కానీ నేను డాలర్ మార్క్స్ చేసుకోలేదబ్బా. Oh, shoot. Shoot. We forgot it that it needs to test this. Okay. We need to add a little bit. Yeah, test. Sorry, that was my mistake. I'm extremely sorry for that. So yeah, boom. Did you add that test right before your variable? Yeah. All right. Let's run this again. My script is angry at me. It wants me to go and study more. Also, let me just clear it up so that you can actually see it. See, it's telling me to go and study more. I'm sorry. I don't want you to be angry at me. Anyway, now that we've seen one if statement, what do you do if you have multiple statements that you have to test? If else is fine, but if else anything else? Remember switch statements? Remember switch statements? Let's do exactly that. Let's do switch statements. I actually typed out an example program. Let's see if it loads. It was actually a pretty lame program also, by the way, but let's see. Now, we'll do another file for this. What do you want to name this one? Sorry? Sorry? I don't hear anything. What do you want to name this new file? Sorry? Right there? Anyone? I really don't hear any suggestions. Louder! Okay, since we're being not so active today, let's just go ahead and call this case. Okay? How do I make a file called case? I'm getting only one answer here. Come on. How do we make a file called case? Exactly. Please go ahead and type that in. Example program load. Okay. Anyway, what is the first line? Please go ahead and type that in. Yes, go ahead and type that in. Now, Which country do we all belong to? India, right? So if we belong to India, what are we called? Indians, है ना? So what do we call someone who's from US of A? Americans. Simple, right? Let's just write a program to do exactly that. User will input their country, will call, if they're Indian, they'll be like, computer will be like, oh, you're Indian, nice. If they're from US, it will be like, oh, you're American. Really cool. Okay? Now, how do you give a prompt? How do you give a prompt? How do you print a prompt? Echo. Yes, go ahead and do echo. What shall we ask? Which country are you from? Simple. Now we read the variable. I'll call it country just for good measure. Oops. Read country. Now let's do echo. Nice. Oops. I'm too over enthusiastic. Nice. You are. You are. Or let's just say you are. Oops. No one got that? Yeah. Now, we have multiple countries that user can input, right? So we want to do a switch. So how do you do switches? Case. Simple, very simple. Case, $sign, because you are calling a variable. Country. Okay? In. Now, since they're Indian, let's just go ahead and type Indian, or we don't actually need that. Let's just go ahead and type Indian. The I'm so bad at left and right. What is this? Right. Yeah. It's the right parenthesis. Okay. It's telling the computer that India. The computer say to say if he's an Indian. You're an Indian, right? Namaste. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, but then it will type nice. You are namaste. Or should we just keep it like that? I like it. Nice. You are namaste. Let's just keep it, okay?